And now with the power of editing, we are straight into the second bar.
Nice.
So we can be as unprofessional as we want.
Okay, time to put the chair back. No, I'm good.
Off with the trousers.
Yeah.
I actually have a couple of questions here because
Yeah.
little do people know, I was actually your fan for quite a long time. Because I think we had very few interactions in the past.
Yeah, not many.
And so I have a couple of questions. I know that you have a video game designer's degree, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because the school system here works differently, here you basically just choose a school, and that school has set, things that they teach you.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe in both UK and the US, you choose a school, but then there you choose the subject.
What more it is basically, if you want to specialize, you look at what universities do what you want to specialize into.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was either computer science, game design, something like that. So I started looking at universities that did it, and then I was like, okay, I'll apply to that one, because they do what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's pretty much just picking a topic that you want, and then finding a university that, one, you're qualified for, and two, you actually want to move there, and all that good stuff. So yeah.
Because I always wondered, because this is something I wanted to do as well. Because as my grandmother always said, I was exactly like my grandfather, which I sadly never met, that I can do everything, but not on the extreme level, but I have the talent to just quickly learn. That's why I can draw, I can, that's why I got into entertainment, I can play instruments and stuff like that. And when I was young, I really wanted to get into video game design, because I was always thinking outside of box, and I was like, this is something where I can definitely use this trait, because the more unique games there are, I would say the higher chance of success there is, if that is executed well.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, because I don't know that, I wanted to ask you, what do they actually teach you in video game design?
So a lot of it's coding. So in my degree, I learned how to code in C#, C++, and Java. Also how to use engines, game engines, Unreal, Unity, all that good stuff. You'll learn how to 3D model and do animation. You'll learn how to, a big part of it as well is working as groups, making games. You will build games throughout the degree, working as a team. You all have your role, like you would if you were employed by Riot, for example, you'd have your role. So it's using the practical skill, or learning the practical skills, actually putting it into play, and then at the end doing a massive dissertation on whatever topic you choose. That's like 10,000 words and all that good stuff. And I will say that was quite good for me, because you can pick what you want. I actually did the topic, do content creators influence the gaming industry?
Wow, that's cool.
And I used my influence as a content creator to get 10,000 people to sign a survey. So I kind of proved my dissertation by getting 10,000 survey
really
results.
Cool.
So that got me kind of high grades. Like I did end up with the highest grade you actually can get in the UK for my degree. But no, they teach you a lot. You can kind of make it what you want. If you want to go more the technical side, then just focus more on the programming. Someone like me, I still did the programming, still got high grades in them, but I'm more focused on becoming the project manager and like organizing people and making sure everything's done, with also jumping into parts, whatever people need to do. Because I'm quite good at talking.
I was thinking, do they, because, video game design for me is purely theoretical. I've never done anything practical, but I really love reading into it. And I was wondering if they actually teach you the stuff that you can find in books, like not from the technical side, when you're deciding about the game. Things like, you need like this at the beginning of your game to teach you this and this mechanic. And does that make sense? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You got the whole package just to make a game, really. Like if you told me right now, okay, Huz, go make a game, I'd be able to make it from start to finish with everything that you kind of need. Why are you making the game? They go into the theory of, look into competition that you may have, what's an open market? Would it be appealing to both genders, age groups? Like, it's not just the technical side, it's everything. They also go into, like, I had a whole module that was actually like a debate module, which you wouldn't really think you'd be debating in a game degree, but about topics. You know, why aren't there more female game designers in the industry? Should there be? All this stuff. And no, it was a really good degree. I will say, like, I'm probably not going to be a game designer, even though I'm now qualified to a high degree in it. But I now respect what they do, and I can do it myself. So if I manage to get a job in a few years' time, part of a community team, or you know, something like that, say in Riot, cough, I would understand what the design team is going through, and I think that's very valuable.
Would you surrender your career to be a writer, though?
Well, my YouTube career.
Although now there are these awesome changes that
you're allowed to do. Yeah, you're allowed to do content now, because I know a few of them that have wanted to do content. I probably would join Riot. It's always been kind of like what I would want, because you know they're very open to actually hire content creators. You know, if you go on their website, look at careers, they always say you need something that stands out. And one of the examples that makes your CV, makes your resume stand out, is actually being a content creator, having a lot of viewers, because that shows you're overly passionate about the game. That you actually are so passionate, you're making content, and in the initial stages, as you'll know, you're not doing it for anything.
Yeah.
You know, it's fortunate that both of us now have had a moderate success, but for years, I've done YouTube now for 3 years, and only in the past year, really, I've actually been able to do it for a job.
Well, I've been making videos for 7 years, and exactly the same for me. Throughout the last year, it finally kicked in.
Yep.
But until then, well, you know, until now, really, it's all about passion and just doing it because you like doing it, not because there will be money from it.
I've said to my viewers before, like, yeah, it's great that I can make a living doing this, but the moment I am like, I just can't be bothered. Like, if I'm in bed and I'm like, I really don't want to record a commentary today, I won't. And because that's not the point of YouTube to me. Like, it's a bonus that I can do it for a job, but the main part of YouTube is me showing the passion of actually doing videos. So yeah.
I am now at the very brink of quitting school, actually, because here's the thing, right? YouTube is, let's say, hobby, but now that I can actually make a living out of it, I have the option to live the life that I always wanted to, and there is nothing higher than that. You know, people always say get a degree because you'll get higher. With YouTube, I can't get any higher. I can't get into TV. And what else is there, right? So...
Yeah, no, that is partially true. I would say if anybody's watching and then maybe they're a smaller YouTube channel, I'd still advise doing the school thing, as long, like, if you're not a big channel yet, because I did my university degree while doing YouTube. But no, as soon as you get to a stage that you're like, damn, like, YouTube's doing well, it's a really good feeling, obviously. Because I play video games and I love it. And even though it's not like just me playing the game, it's more me educating people, I don't think I would enjoy doing anything else, like, as much.
So it's also the fact that you are your own boss, which means...
it is a scary part, that.
It is,
I'll be honest.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when, like, Pokemon come out.
Oh, God. Like, yeah, my DS is right here next to me.
It's actually... Hold on. It's one of my questions. I have questions. What other games are you playing?
Pokemon.
I'm not, because I thought it would come today. It didn't.
Well, I think I've already got nearly 20 hours into it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, did I?
And the cool thing is, next week I'm getting laser eye surgery.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be playing a lot of Pokemon while my eyes are recovering. So I will be the Pokemon master. Oh, well, sorry?
Is that safe?
Yeah, kinda. I did ask what about, like, watching things from a short distance. They're like, no, it's completely fine. They said just don't have your eyes exposed to bright things. I was like, okay, I'll put the screen on dim. So,
maybe the 3D effect off.
Yeah, I don't even play with that. Yeah. But other games I play, I tinker with World of Warcraft still to this day.
It is. Let's be honest, Legion is pretty awesome.
It's really good, but like my history, some people may not know my history. I used to be a hardcore raider in WoW. For 2 years, I was a top 200 DPS.
Huh, cool.
Yeah, and I was raid leader, guild leader at a certain time. I remember I was a raid leader when I was 14 years old, and I had 40-year-olds in my raid group. And I think
That's
a lot of
really
the,
cool, actually.
yeah, and I think that's where my maturity actually came. I do link, and again, it's a bit controversial. I do link being toxic in League with maturity. The more mature people probably won't be toxic. I skipped the whole
That's
toxic
true,
thing in
yeah.
League because I've always been mature because I had control over 40-year-old guys in WoW when I was 14. So I think partially where that came from. So yeah, WoW. I'm tinkering again a little bit with the Elder Scrolls Online game. It was on a free-to-play weekend recently, and me and my friends jumped in. And it's not great, but it's not terrible.
I don't think I've even tried it, really. I tried a lot of MMOs. I don't think I tried Elder Scrolls.
The best way to play it, in my opinion, and my friends, is you don't treat it like an MMO. You treat it like a multiplayer Skyrim. Forget it about it. It's not an MMO. Just ignore that part.
I heard the combat is totally different, though.
It's different to a certain extent. You have, in the Elder Scrolls games, the proper ones, you have attack and then one spell on each hand. Where this one is, you do have a hotbar with 1 to 5, and a massive ability like an ultimate from League of Legends. You have one of those as well. So it's a bit different. It's a bit weird, but yeah, it's okay. That's pretty much it, I think, that I'm playing.
Then I have... Did you get anything awesome on Black Friday? Well, I mean, it's still coming, technically. I mean, it just arrived.
Yeah, the problem with me, and with Christmas and that upcoming, my family hate me in the aspect that I'm terrible to buy for. Because if there's something that I want, I just buy it.
Yeah, I just buy it myself.
So, Black Friday...
I feel you.
There's been things I've been on Amazon today and I was like, oh, I just bought that a week ago and now it's nearly half price. So it's just like, oh, I should have waited. I kind of forget that, like, Black Friday and that, because like I got recently 2 brand new monitors that are amazing. They're probably a lot cheaper today, and I probably got them, but I just didn't.
All I got was a microphone, a new microphone, because you may have heard, I don't know if it did go off, you may have heard when we talked that my microphone popped a little bit. A
little bit.
Time. Yeah, that may happen. It's not too bad on the capture, but I just bought it in case this microphone dies. Well, I mean, it will eventually happen.
I've been actually thinking about getting a new microphone, because this one that you might be able to see in the top of the screen, I've had this now for, I think, over 2 years. And I think it's an Audio-Technica AT2020, and it's like the bog standard Audio-Technica mic that they do. But I'm always thinking the technology in mics in 2 years must have improved a lot if you buy one that came out in 2016.
Yeah.
So with it being Black Friday, I might actually have a look. You might have prompted me to spend money.
Although I always just got the USB ones because I am so bad with technical stuff that audio interface is something beyond me. So
I do have it attached to a audio condenser, which it's
should... like the little stick that you
plug into the blue icicle up here. This thing.
Yeah, that thing.
It gives it extra volume control and it makes it a bit crisper, and then it also converts it into USB when this is I can't even remember what the name begins with C. It's a different type of microphone, but no. Oh. Sorry to viewers that are not YouTubers, because this technical side is a big part of YouTube. So yeah,
that's something I learned the hard way.
Yeah, a lot of people do, because people always ask me, how do I get into YouTube? It's like, well, you need to discover it for yourself. I didn't know how to record or set up stuff. You just get into it and you just learn.
And it's always a really cool feeling when you pull some of this technical stuff off, like setting up your actual workplace. That feels really awesome when.
And it takes a long time to do it. Like again, been doing this for years. I still haven't perfected everything that I do. Constantly changing, constantly moving things, constantly having little tinkers, because that's what you have to do to stay kind of relevant.
Yeah. What else do we have? What do you think about Nintendo Switch?
See, I'll probably buy it because it's me. But I've heard that they're doing, Pokemon Sun. Been playing it a lot. I've heard they're doing another Pokemon on there that's going to be kind of like. I
wonder if it will be actually just Pokemon Sun and Moon, just upscaled for that.
I think it will be. I think it'll be like an Emerald, so it'll be like in between them with a different legendary. I think that's what they're going to be doing, and I hope. And this is where I'm a little bit tentative. I hope it does link to the previous DS games, like you can connect your Switch and battle somebody on the DS. I think that would be needed. But also the Legend of Zelda MMO, the RPG, sorry, the open world RPG again that's being delayed, but that looks good. Apparently, there's rumors that there's going to be a new Mario RPG as well released on it. So
that'll be cool.
It does seem that they're kind of trying to go with the Switch and be like, okay, we're putting all our chips into this Switch and putting Pokemon on a console, which people have asked for ages.
Yeah,
a new Mario RPG, a Link, a Zelda, sorry, open world role-playing game.
All we need is Pokemon Snap. And
well, Pokemon Snap's in Sun and Moon. You probably don't know that. Yep, there is Pokemon Snap in Sun and Moon. So
well, the last Pokemon I played was Ruby on the Game Boy Advanced. So
you didn't even play the updated Omega Ruby.
No, this Black Friday I just bought the 3DS finally. So
okay,
you know,
you've missed a lot, and you're going to be very confused, going, "What the hell is that Pokemon?"
Also, when I read about Pokemon, there's like a meta that you need to look for the correct Pokemon with the right IVs and stuff like that.
When I started, when I started this playthrough, I saved just before you get to choose your first Pokemon, and I resat my DS about 6 times until I got the right nature.
Oh.
I wanted adamant, so it's more technical now, and you don't need to do it if you're just doing it for fun. But I'm actually going to be hosting a tournament soon on my Discord server for Pokemon, and I want to make sure I've got the best natured Pokemon. You know, I catch a Growlithe, and I'm like, okay, what nature is it? Oh, it's a rubbish one. Okay, I'm going to catch another one. You have to make sure you got the good natures.
How do you actually know his IVs?
Go in this. You catch it. You go in the summary. And it will say what nature it is, and just Google what each nature means. So, for example, if memory serves correct, adamant will increase the attack of a Pokemon and reduce its special attack. So, if you go for your moveset that you have all physical abilities, then that's good for having an attack Pokemon. If you want a special attack Pokemon, so like flamethrower and stuff, you need to make sure your special attack is up.
Oh, I thought it was kind of like with Pokemon Go, that when you catch a Pokemon, there's like you can only see its IVs based on the math behind its health and attack growing and defense.
Bit different in the actual game, a little bit.
So here you can actually see.
Oh yeah.
Without math, what they are. All right then. I think that's it then. I don't know if there's anything else you would like to talk about.
Politics is usually one you don't talk about on YouTube.
Yeah, I tweeted like once or twice, never again.
Yeah, same.
Never again.
I tweeted like when the election night was happening, I had Alec Baldwin pouring like whiskey, and I was like, "Good luck, Americans." That was a mistake. Yep. It's like, what do you mean, good luck? I'm out. See you later.
Yeah, I just pointed out a thing that like Trump did in the past. Very funny and very horrible thing.
Yeah.
Yet I got so much hate for it. Wow.
Yeah, politics is a very intensive thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Something people are passionate about for no reason at all.
Yeah, well, I actually studied politics as well before my degree. And I don't know, I love politics because, you know, I studied it. I studied it for a reason because I enjoy it. But most people that get very passionate about politics actually don't read anything into it.
Yeah.
But I guess
that's what I meant.
That's most things in life. Most people that get angry in League of Legends that they're bronze probably don't exactly know what they're doing.
Oh yeah, that's one more thing I wanted to talk about. Just quickly wanna talk about. Do you actually think League is balanced right now? Because I do.
You do?
Yeah. I do. I think Riot is doing a really good job with balancing. I talked about this in my last video. That's why bans exist, right? Because bans, outside of the tactical reason for like you're gonna ban this and yeah, exactly. Outside of that, originally bans were implemented because different skill rankings, they hate different champions.
Oh, and completely.
You can't balance every champion around like, you know, a
Well, you can't balance skill. That's the problem. You know, Azir got nerfed to the ground, even though he had a negative win rate. The reason why Azir got nerfed into the ground is because if you put a challenger player on Azir, he was unbeatable.
Exactly.
But if you put a bronze player on Azir, no offense, guys, like this is kind of my channel. I kind of just say what I think. Put a bronze player on Azir, he's not going to do anything. You know, he's very mechanical, and there's just so much difference. If you put Master Yi in bronze, he'll probably wreck. You put Master Yi in diamond, he'll get CC'd and do nothing. But as for balance, when you look at balance, again, I did this part of my degree. When there's multiple characters, and again, you can have this in fighting games like the Smash Bros. Games and all that. Generally, it's the more champions that are played regularly means the more balanced the game is. Because if it's not balanced, you'll only have a select few champions that everybody's like, I'm going to play that for a reason. It's OP. That's it. League right now, I am in the firm position, even though there are better champions, worse champions, I'm in the firm position you can climb practically with anything, which means it's balanced to a degree. Obviously, there are a couple examples that are like, ooh, you know, Rengar, what did they do to him at the moment? But that's always going to happen. You know, there's always going to be that. You know, the thing what people don't understand is, you know, you can't make an instant change after a day of a patch, is because these patches that Riot release have to go through number of checks, number of departments, number of everything to actually get implemented. So it's not an instant fix. But as for balance, I'd probably say this is one of the most balanced patches there's been in a few years. Probably.
Yeah, because I always, like, every time someone brings up a champion and they're like, oh, this one is so OP, they should definitely nerf him. And I'm just sitting here thinking, well, good job on the other half of the world that actually don't mind him.
It goes back to the point of people have rage, hysteria, whatever, when they just simply don't understand. So
yeah,
people
like Fizz is prime example.
And Fizz is easy to deal with. He's a melee champion. You pick a range champion, you poke him out, you make him have no CS, and then you chain lock him. It's easy. Like, but that's the problem, is that this game has such a mixture of ratings. The average rating is silver, which I wouldn't say, my own thing, I would say the average good rating in League, if you're a good player, you should be platinum, like, to me, where actually a good player technically is gold, but that's just where the skill level in League is. So there's so much into it of, like, Riot have to balance the game. Generally, Riot balance the game towards the higher end of play, because you can't have something broken and then the pros can absolutely abuse it just because lower players can't play it properly. But no, the game is pretty balanced right now, and I'm actually pretty happy with what's happening, which is good.
Like, I played Vel'Koz as support, and I got myself to Platinum 1. I'm a bit sad that I didn't get to Diamond, but I just didn't have the time, so But that kind of proves the point that you can really play anything anywhere as long as you know what you're doing.
If you told me, you know, 2 years ago, oh, this is going to be able to be played here, this is going to be able to play there, you know, Teemo in the jungle, people are owning on that
Trundle
at the moment.
Support,
Trundle support, brand support, they were never supports.
Yeah.
The League of Legends is constantly evolving. Like, if you played this game for a very long time, the old meta in bot lane used to be a bruiser and a tank. Like,
it used to be, hold on, it used to be Ashe. Ashe, only for the reason for her ultimate and teleport.
Oh, completely, yeah. You arrowed and then teleported to catch up your arrow.
Yeah, and someone who would chain on the stun. Like that was the only reason. And also Morgana and Singed, I remember that.
Oh, Singed in Season 1 was absolutely, he was ridiculous. I don't like Singed still to this day, probably because of those feelings I had in Season 1. He was nearly impossible to kill. So yeah, when people complain about balance, all I kind of say is, you didn't play in Season 1, because that was the most unbalanced game you could probably have.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
So I think on that we'll probably end it, since we extended it by another 10 minutes. Final words?
No, thanks for having me. It was really fun. I did better than I thought in the lore.
Oh yeah, you're the current lore master.
I am. Somehow.
On that, we will end this video. So thank you everyone here for coming here. If you wanna hold on, where can they find your stuff? Good. All right. Quick plug-in.
YouTube, Huzzy Games, same on Twitch, and Huzzy Games LOL on Twitter.
If people didn't know who I am, I'm Necrit, and you probably wouldn't be here if you weren't subscribed to me.
That's true.
And on that, thank you, and see you another time.
Peace.